Today's devotion is titled Favor, and we are on day 92, April 2nd, and today's morning rinse is Ezra 5 through 7. And the featured verses today include Ezra 7, 27, and 28. Blessed be the Lord, the God of our fathers, who has put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to adorn the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem, and has extended loving kindness to me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty princes. Thus I was strengthened according to the hand of the Lord my God upon me, and I gathered leading men from Israel to go up with me. So the first 6 chapters of Ezra capture the return of a group of exiles led by Zerubbabel. Ezra himself comes on the scene beginning in chapter 7, so we might have wondered where he was at. Well, he comes on the scene in chapter 7, about 80 years after Zerubbabel. So many teachers and preachers describe Ezra as a hero of faith, and I mentioned him yesterday as a man of God that we should esteem, very high up on our heroes, because he was literally a hero of faith. Some, in fact, compare him to Moses, because he not only studied the law that God gave Moses, but he was one of the greats in the Bible who lived it out. His lifestyle was it. I mean, we would have never thought to take a deep dive into Ezra's life, but if you wanted a man in the Bible who, oftentimes gets, overlooked because of some of the other greats, Ezra would be a man to actually take a deep dive and study eventually sometime in the future. Just putting that thought in your head. And in today's morning rinse, we read the story where Ezra went to King Artaxerxes, or some people call him Artaxerxes, and he asked for help in his journey, leading this second group of exiles to Jerusalem. I believe that Ezra was a man of high ranks in the kingdom of King Artaxerxes, and the king witnessed firsthand God working in Ezra's life, which led the king to this high respect for Ezra. And this respect, in fact, was so high that he gifted Ezra and the people that he had with gold and silver to use to buy resources like bulls and rams and lambs for his sacrifices. He literally was gifting Ezra this. I mean, Ezra had found favor. He also gave them extra gold and silver to use whenever Ezra needed it for the journey. And then he went even above and beyond these extra donations, and he told Ezra that if he had any other needs at all, like any other needs, Ezra had permission to take it from the royal treasury. I mean, this guy, can you imagine being told, like, I'm giving you all this gold and silver to buy all these resources and to buy, bulls and rams for your sacrifices. I'm just giving it to you. But if there's anything else that you need, just go ahead. Here's this bucket in our royal treasury that you have access to. Just take what you need. Talk about favor. Are we trusted like that in the world of our business? I mean, could anybody say that? I mean, who could we say that about in today's modern day culture? He also wrote a letter for Ezra to carry with him to give to all the kings along the way. And this letter not only documented permission for the exiles to be with Ezra, but it also confirmed that all the gold and all the silver that they had in their possession, it wasn't stolen, but rather they were gifts directly from the king, King Artaxerxes. It's a hard word to say, trust me. In this letter, the king also issued an order, literally an order for other kings to grant the people passage through their land on their way to Jerusalem. I mean, King Artaxerxes had power, and he had enough relationship with all the other kings around him to say, let these people pass through your land and don't bother them because I'm giving them the right to do this. And also he wrote for them to grant to Ezra whatever he needed and to do it with zeal. I mean, can you imagine him granting these kings this order and saying, look, you need to let Ezra and all the people go through your land. But not only that, but if they need anything, you need to give it to them. I mean, and you need to do it with zeal. And it is not recorded in the Bible that King Artaxerxes was a man who practiced God's law. And yet Ezra found favor with him because of his life of faith. King Artaxerxes knew that God was real and did not want God's anger upon him or his kingdom if he treated Ezra wrong. If we live our lives of faith, we will find favor with many people around us, even those who are not Christ followers. God can and he will move many hearts, regardless of their lifestyle, to give us resources that will help us carry out our plan for our lives. And this is how God gives us favor. This is how he works. He loves blessing his children and strengthening us in this way. So I'm asking you, do not be afraid to ask for help from even those who do not live out biblical principles, because you never know where your resources are going to come from, because they could come from people that are not of faith. And it's because other people are seeing our lives of faith and they see what we stand for, and we live a life of integrity. And people, even people who do not have the same belief system or the same faith as us, can still give us favor, just like Ezra received favor from King Artaxerxes. So today's challenge to dig deeper is to ask yourself, is there something that you need in your life? Do not underestimate the power of living out your faith. And the hand of God is on your life and favor will come. Are you trying to build a ministry? Are you trying to build resources for your ministry? Ask someone today to meet a need today for you, and watch God work through favor, especially if you are living a life sold out for him, just like Ezra did. Ezra lived a life and people trusted him. I mean, this guy, can you imagine the favor that Ezra had on his life? I'm still so baffled at this story because, of all the things that Ezra was given, he was given gold and silver, and yet he was also given even more if needed, and then he was given a letter commissioning all the kings around him to let the people through and to give the people things if they needed it and give it with zeal. I mean, just none of his needs lacked. All of his needs were met. Such an amazing, amazing story. And yet it doesn't just apply to Ezra. We too can have this kind of favor. And so I'm asking you in your challenge today, what are you trying to build? Just like yesterday when I was talking about God stirring our heart for something more, and what God is stirring our heart, is there something that you need for that mission that he was talking to you about yesterday? And ask somebody. Be bold and ask for help. And when you pull out your journal and you have your evening reflection, I'm going to trust that today you found favor. Something was given to you. And so write down what that favor was. What was given to you today? And who granted the favor today? Believe in your heart that today you are going to receive something in your life for your ministry, for what's in your heart, believing God for it, just like Ezra. And I'm believing that for you today. And I cannot wait to hear the stories that come out of what you are doing with these challenges. And if you don't have my devotional and you don't have the journal, then links are in my show notes. And please join my Facebook group. It's called Rinse, Reflect, Repeat Devotional. And I would love to hear your stories as well. Come on in and engage and let everyone who is in the group know about what you are receiving. And I look forward to hearing more about your life. See you tomorrow.